Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Paul here with Last Frontier Garage. I filmed diagnosing. What we're doing here is working on a 1998 Ford Expedition. This is actually one of our personal vehicles. This is the one my wife drives most of the time. My parents actually bought it brand new in 1998, I guess, and they've had it ever since. We attained it when we moved back up here, and it looks like it's just starting to drizzle, so we'll see how bad that gets. I might have to move you guys to a different spot. But anyways, what's going on with it, it's got a check engine light on. Now for a long time it's ran pretty bad. Not terrible, but just not quite what it used to be. And it also had some pre-detonation or pinging. And what that is when the fuel and air mixture ignites before it's supposed to, before the spark ignites it. It's igniting because of hot spots from carbon buildup. It could also be happening due to a timing issue. I don't think that's the case on this. Can also happen due to high combustion temperatures, which is the reason why the exhaust gas recirculation system exists, EGR. What that does is it introduces exhaust back into the intake. The computer is controlling it, and what it's doing is basically diluting the fuel and air mixture, therefore causing less heat. So basically, when it gets real hot like that, it'll create what's called, I think it's nitrides, oxides of nitrogen. Anyway, those things happen a lot in the hotter areas. And then you also get your carbon monoxide, CO, or hydrocarbons, which is basically unburnt fuel. I don't know if I said that right. Basically, it's fuel coming out of unburnt fuel. So those are your three things. Anyway, I'm going off on a rabbit trail. I don't want this video to be too long. So what I did yesterday was I tested the fuel pressure. I looked at a variety of things. Once I get another camera, I'll be able to use my phone more and more because I can take screenshots and just show you guys, but I'm gonna have to learn how to trim and all that stuff eventually. But so what happened is it's been running bad. It's been pinging. I pretty much know the spark plugs are due, so I was gonna do those, but then the check engine light came on, and then it came on again after I cleared it. So it's running lean at wide open throttle, basically. Basically, it's running lean at cruise. So if this thing was running lean at idle, that would probably tell you that it's got a vacuum leak or something. You know, something that's only happening at idle. Well, at idle, it seems to do fine. So this is happening in the higher RPMs, which is, if things are running lean, it's usually an indication of low fuel pressure. Basically, not enough fuel is getting to those injectors, so the computer is wanting to keep them open longer. And if the computer sees too much of that, it'll set a lean code, because basically the computer is seeing that there's not enough fuel in the exhaust stream. You know, basically it's using the rear O2 sensors the O2 sensors to determine that, not the rear ones, the front ones. And so here we are, check engine light. It's running lean, so we're trying to find out what's going on. I checked for vacuum leaks, we're good there. I did check the fuel pressure. It's just kind of on the bottom end where I think it should be. So I'm hoping with a new fuel filter, we're going to test it again, see where it's at. I'm also going to replace the PCV valve because this one's just old. You're really supposed to replace those every other oil change along with your air filter, depending on what type of conditions you live in or what type of conditions the engine's in. But this one sometimes gets stuck and rattles, and you know, when that's happening, you I think are basically getting a little extra air. Well, it's not air, of course, but it's you're getting a little too much crankcase air back into the thing. Anyway, you get my picture. We're replacing that. We're going to clean the mass airflow sensor, and I'll show you that here in a second. But it is dirty. These are notorious for dirty mass airflow sensors. I'm hoping I don't have to replace it. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to do all of this Actually, but last but not least, I'm gonna do an intake cleaner. I don't have a kit that you can hook up to your fuel rail. It's starting to rain if you can hear it. Which is the ultimate. You disable the fuel pump, you splice into the fuel system, and it literally runs off a bottle of pressurized stuff. That's the best way to do carbon cleaning. I recommend that twice a year with really any vehicle, but especially in older vehicles. They're fuel injected. So anyways, I'm gonna do that. So I'm hoping it's gonna be the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 punch, because I didn't get a definitive answer in my diagnosis. I'm not good enough reading the mass airflow sensor. It seems to be reading fine, but maybe I'm looking at the wrong parameter. So let's take a look at the mass airflow sensor, and I think we'll cut for a, I'll just have to find a new spot for this here. Okay guys, this actually should pass. So there's my mass airflow sensor. Let me try to do this here. Those little thingies right in that little hole are reading the weight of the, oh, it's hailing. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Wow. Is it? Yeah, little pieces of hail. Look at that. It's a little bit warm out. It's like it's a little Alaskan tornado season. That's so funny. It's not like the hail in Dallas, I'll tell you that. Let's take a look here. There you go. That's pretty good. It's about the size of a, I don't know, smaller than a BB. Anyways, guys, I gotta rethink my strategy here. I'll set you down right here for a second. I might have to do the fuel filter off camera. I don't want to get her to get I actually think this is gonna pass. So let's see here. And I'm uploading directly from my phone, so that's why I don't just cut it and like, I know I could easily do that, but to be honest, like, you know, we're trying to save every second these days. Let's just do this. That's nice. Oh, and everything doesn't slide off. Alright, it's out of the range, so we're good there. Alright, this should pass actually, because it's the system that's just kind of up above us to the north. I think it's hoping it's going to pass through. Thinking about cutting this. You know, I'll post this as a part 1.0 or something, and then do another post. I'm thinking about bringing this inside. Let me just do this real quick. Let me just do this, guys. We're here to, this is the last frontier garage. We don't mess around, okay? We don't mess around here. This frontier garage. Alright. I'm trying to get you guys an eye on the fuel filter, which I should be able to do if I can figure this thing out here. I'm so sorry for the bad camera strategies of sliding it across the gravel here. If I can get a good angle here, okay, that's all right. There we go. Okay, I gotta take my keys out of my pocket. All right, that's probably the stuff I should have done before I started filming. Alright guys, I think that's gonna have to do. I'll try to work on it without, you know guys, I may not be able to film this because my arms might be right there. Okay. Let's just make it happen. I'm sorry if you guys don't get to see it. Oh yeah. Alright guys. This is so ridiculous. I think for sure I need to learn how to edit. Cause y'all don't want I'm not prepared enough to get all this stuff ready in advance, you know, like let me set up the camera. Like that's just not what I'm trying to do here. You know what I'm talking about? I'm trying to film this real life adventure. Last Frontier Garage. Okay. So, excuse me. So y'all can see the fuel filter here. It's a canister style. You have these little safety latches right here that push down and kind of slide out. Same thing on the other side. And what I like to do is spray a little bit of brake clean or whatever in there. Whoops, there you go. And just to kind of get everything loosened up a little bit. You know, you're not really trying to do anything but just lubricate. And this stuff is pretty thin, so it tends to get in. It will evaporate, so if you know, this is for when you're trying to get these little things off of there. And the way this works is it's plugged into there. The fuel line is like this, and it can't go over this ridge. So you put the tool in, basically push it into the fuel line, and it opens up its little tang so it can just slide on off. The seal is actually in an O-ring. It's inside the old fuel line. And these can be tricky sometimes because it's the angle. Sometimes it's just, you know, you're not getting the right feel for it. If they're gummed up, it can get real difficult. You basically got to push them in. Whoops, and of course I'm out of practice. I've been out of the game working with that pet care, you know what I'm talking about? Alright, so I'm gonna wiggle with the jiggle here. It's a lot easier when it's on a lift. There we go, you hear that? Well, I thought I got it. Look at this. Alright, yeah, there it is. There it is. Get you a little drain pan. Alright, let's get that. Let that kind of drain out. Obviously, sometimes, you know, you kind of notice this wasn't under much pressure, which leads me to believe that I do have a weak fuel pump. You know, I think there's a mixture of issues going on with this. And the fuel pump's a little bit weak. Fuel filter's a little bit dirty. Mass airflow's dirty. Carbon buildup. It's just like, and then even the sparks need to be replaced. The spark plugs need to be replaced. So you add all those up, you have an engine that's running bad, but until now, not running bad enough in one certain area to consistently, you know, have a check engine light, you know. And I should have done all this a long time ago, but it's kind of like searching for a needle in a haystack. I kind of knew what to do, I just didn't have the wherewithal. Oh, I pretty much figured it needed a carbon cleaning, and although it does, what I'm finding out is that's just one of the things. All right, so this one's gonna be a little bit more difficult because I got a gas tank here. I got freaking. Whoop, whoop. As you can see, if you can, hopefully this is actually filming still. Basically, you gotta wear safety glasses, y'all. Don't be trying to do this all crazy, you know? That looks bent. That's weird. Oh, by the way, I should have done this before. Duh. Oops. If I can find my other tool. Did I even bring that thing? This is the problem with working on the ground. Well, I do this anyway. I'll be like, where did I put that thing? I think I left it up there. Yep. Alright, it looks like the rain has subsided. Let me try to speed it up for you guys. This video is going to be way too long. So it's an 8mm hose clamp, 8mm nut, you know, whatever size hose clamp it is, holding on holding the fuel filter on. So what I just did there, I changed the angle of it, so now it's dripping out, and of course I probably should have not done that. Wouldn't have had, like, let's do this here. I was gonna try to reach around right there. Here we go. Okay, this looks bent. Oh my goodness, that ain't good. All right, and I almost need a tool to press against the plastic that's going in. You can usually grab a tool and that'll help you just slide it right against the release tabs, but this one might be a little bit of a, I might need to grab that tool. That I'm gonna need to. What the? Well, let me actually tighten this back up because I need that thing to stay still because this thing's kind of acting up here. Big time. Let me run this back. Like I said, this can either be really simple or nice and complex. Alright. And I'm going to go ahead and get the right tool. Alright guys, if you can still see this, this is basically a a thing to get little plastic rivets out or whatever you want it to do. In this case, I'm going to use these wings as my fingers so I can actually put a little more force on it. And I didn't really get that brake clean in there like I needed to, and that's what you're trying to, that's what you want to do with the brake clean is reduce that gumminess. just get it in there, kind of loosen things up. This is a pretty bad spot too, so there's always a hose protector, so it's hard to pull on the fuel line correctly too. So this is kind of a little bit of a puzzle. But with this, I'm gonna go ahead and increase my chances to solve. Now this end might spill a little bit more fuel. We shall see. Alright. There it goes. There it goes, folks. Oop. Alright. That would probably just drain the whole way. So I'm gonna at least let the fuel filter drain. I'm gonna put this fuel line to the tank up. I'm gonna get in here, and all I gotta do is loosen that clamp back up. And by the way, it's easy with the cordless 1/4-inch ratchet. Give yourself a lot of room there, because sometimes there's actually another little thing that's holding it on, so you gotta kind of Jiminy cricket it out there, you know. And I didn't get it loose enough. I knew I didn't. It was falling back on me. I need to hold it in place. Okay, ooh. Alright, woo. You want to look at your fuel, if you can, coming out of a fuel filter that you especially think is suspect to being plugged. And this does, I mean, this might have a tinge to it, you know, it really does. It really looks like it, but that just might be the lighting in here too. But alright, so this, I'm gonna let this, well, I ain't gonna let it do nothing. I'm gonna put this fuel filter in and we're gonna jam out of here, because this is a one-shot film. Maybe I'll do this in parts. What do you guys think? You guys wanna That's so funny. Alright, now pay attention to where your flow is. You gotta make sure you're putting it the right way. So the flow is this way. And of course, pay attention when you're taking it apart so you can just remember how it looks. Okay, I gotta get up in here so I can make sure this is seated right. There's a little tab that it kind of sits against. And then you run the hose clamp down. Yep, guys, this is what I used to do for a living. I worked, well, I'll tell my story, I guess, another time, but I worked many, many years in the automotive diagnostic, repair, and maintenance industry, you know? Okay, so it's real simple, guys, to hook this back up. You want to make sure that your tangs aren't all jacked up. Your O-rings are looking good. Basically, you would know if they're not by a leak, but make sure it positively snaps in. And then, I don't know if you can see that, you just put the tangs inside there and then push it down. That way, there's nothing that can basically yank it off. Same thing for the rear. These things look like they were kind of messed up, so I'm gonna make sure this is on with plenty of space here. I don't know why it was the other fuel filter stem was kind of bent. So I'm gonna put it on. Okay, I got that nice click sound. You want to make sure it's on there. Don't just assume that you got it sealed, because down the road you'll figure out that wrong assumption. Now, of course, I already put the air up. With gas, if you're doing repairs with gasoline, especially on a client vehicle, you always want to make sure you kind of rinse it and clean it with either brake clean or simple green or whatever. The reason why, especially with something like this, if that fuel lingers in there, you're gonna have a complaint that, hey, it smells like fuel in my vehicle, especially if they don't have good weather stripping or whatever. So what I'm gonna do is Oh, good Lord. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and just douse this with brake clean. Alright, and if I had my air over here, I would just spray that off, but I don't mind. Ooh, that is some strong stuff right there. I don't mind just letting it kind of, well, I am going to get the hair over here. This is so funny. Okay. Let me get that air up there. This video is going to be like 45 minutes. It's going to be insane. Alright. Okay, I got the air right here. Actually, you should be a little more careful because that is my phone camera back there. Alright. Alright, yeah guys, most of that stuff will eventually evaporate, but you want to eliminate any unnecessary fumes. You know that. Alright, let me get you guys out of there. Alright guys, I think we're going to do a part 2 here. What do you think? It's 27 minutes in. Phone is just saying it's having trouble. Okay. Let's do what we do here. Let's put this right here. Oh, you know what? Let me just do this. I need to get a battery pack for my phone. Okay, sorry guys. Oh my goodness. Well, we're on a roll. Here, let's just keep going. Just gonna throw that PCV in real quick, because that's nice and easy. Already wiped it off yesterday, so it's pretty straightforward here. I didn't spring for the expensive Motorcraft one. Let's see if this is gonna. I don't like this style. It's like a plastic. Let's see what we got going here. All right. Seems a little gummed up. So, let's see here. Seems a little, it's real thick, you know? This one, hey, let's get this other one out of my hand. Obviously, it's just new. I gotta put this on here. And it, as you can see, it's like just, I'm gonna put a little bit of, try a little brake clean first. If that doesn't work, we'll go for some WD-40 or something. I don't like this because sometimes they can just split. Let me just throw it in the vise real quick. Let's do that. Come on over here. Let's throw it in the vise. Alright, there we go. Perfect. Alright. Yeah, I gotta get that like tripod thing so I could yeah, I might get for you guys to see this. Let's see here. Nope. Oh, it's way over there. Good Lord. Yeah. My stand like sucks. There we go. Whoops, this is the worst video ever. There you go. Alright guys, so what I'm trying to do here is literally press this on. Let me get a little bit of WD-40 on here. I don't want to, yeah, we'll see, perfect. The liquid organic cleaner from Amway. It's one of the best surfactants, which is basically, it reduces surface tension. So, got that in there. This is probably the best way to do this, unless it just slides right on. Alright, now we're just simply pressing it on, hoping the whole thing doesn't just split. That's probably enough, but we're gonna drive it home. Alright, that is cool. That's actually the first time I've ever done that. Pressed a PCV thing onto a deal. Alright. Let's go here. It's all, I got so much going on here. My phone's texting and stuff, and here we go. And if I can get that right angle and you guys can at least see what I'm doing. Rather that. Okay, so y'all see that? With the hole and that other hole. I'm gonna put those in there. I can't wait to get a better system. That's gonna be so cool. Alright, there we go. At least something like that. Alright, so as you can see guys, boom. This is also covered, so you gotta make sure you're actually holding on to the hose itself. Okay, got that nice and in there. Make sure there's no debris getting into the valve cover. Boom. We have a new PCV valve installed. Now, I think I am going to shut this off because we're going to take this apart to clean that. Well, actually, I really don't need to do that. I'm just going to spray it. There's no point. I could clean the backs of them. Yeah, let me do that. Let me clean this thing right. Alright guys, we're going to end it here. This is a really long video. Hope it actually uploads. Thanks for watching this episode, which ended up just being a fuel filter and a PCV valve on a 1998 Ford Expedition that is actually in pretty good shape. So we're thankful. And this is the other vehicle that we'll be working on. If I can ever get things to focus right. There we go. We'll also be working on this one. This is my dad's F350. And we got to do a steering gear on it. We got hit up in Wasilla. That guy with the trailer. And we got to replace that steering gear box and some other stuff. So. And there's the old plow truck. I just can't take that transmission out and pull it apart because it literally still drives. It just doesn't. There we go, folks. It just needs to be rebuilt. Anyway. Alright, God bless y'all. I'm actually losing my voice. It's funny. We'll talk to you real soon. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. God bless all the people that fought and died for our freedom. If you don't know about all the past wars, I urge you to study them. Good night.